It's the question no one in Beirut dares to ask out loud. Can Lebanon disarm Hezbollah? Because the last time someone tried, it started a war, and the next time someone tries, it could start another.
It is in Israel's interest not to resort to a broad aggression.
This warning isn't new, but the context is. Because it's not just Israel. Lebanon's own cabinet has told the army to draw up a plan that could disarm Hezbollah. So there are three essential questions here. Can Lebanon disarm Hezbollah? How is the US involved? And will the Lebanese people allow it? I'm Ananya Datta, and this is Grey Zone. Hezbollah emerged out of a Shia militia formed to resist Israel after its invasion of southern Lebanon in 1982. Its name means Party of God in Arabic. 3 years later, it officially announced its existence and called for an Islamic government in Lebanon. While that did not happen, both found common ground. They saw Israel as a hostile state. They're not synonymous with each other, so one cannot be punished for the attacks of the other. Over the years, Hezbollah attacked foreign targets, carried out suicide bombings on US and French troops, and became battle-hardened in neighboring Syria's civil war. The October 7th Hamas attack put the group face-to-face with Israel. A day later, missile salvos were launched from southern Lebanon towards Israel. But over the course of a year, Israel pummeled Hezbollah, killing many of its top brass and 5,000 of its fighters. Hassan Nasrallah, who founded the group, became the biggest name to be buried by Israeli missiles. Others include head of the Executive Council, head of operations, top military commander, commander of southern Lebanon, and the list goes on and on. A November truce brokered by the United States brought a pause to the bloodshed. That deal committed Lebanon to restricting arms to non-state groups, like Hezbollah. In the months since, a new Lebanese government vowed to confine arms across the country. Hezbollah's main arms route was cut when its Syrian ally Bashar al-Assad was ousted in December, and Israel attacked its main sponsor Iran in June. Hezbollah has come under intense pressure since, and it's mainly on three fronts. First, of course, is Israel. Despite November's ceasefire, Tel Aviv has continued to carry out strikes on what it says are Hezbollah arms depot and fighters. Second is the Lebanese government. The newly formed government is roping in the official army to establish a state monopoly on arms.
Authorizing the Lebanese army with setting an executive plan to confine arms, before the end of this current year, in the hands of the forces outlined in the announcement special arrangements of the cessation of hostilities, and submitting it to the Cabinet of Ministers before the 31st of this month, for it to be discussed and decided.
Even though the Prime Minister did not name Hezbollah, this is a direct message to the rebel group. This kind of statement was unthinkable just 2 years ago, when the group was at the center of Lebanon's power.
Those who call for submitting arms practically demand submitting them to Israel. The US says remove the missiles and remove the drones and surrender everything, and surrender the medium weapons and light weapons, but only after a period of time. Understand, in slang Arabic, this man wants the weapons for Israel. He does not want the weapons to control the security situation in Lebanon.
And that brings us to the third front, the United States. A Lebanon without Hezbollah is in favor of Washington's interest. It's one less group fighting its best friend, Israel. In recent months, the US and Lebanon have been holding talks. In fact, there was a closed-door deal between the two this June. US envoy Thomas Barrack gave a roadmap to Beirut to fully disarm Hezbollah in exchange for Israel halting its strikes. With little progress in the proposal, Washington's patience has been wearing thin, and the pressure is now visible.
Israel's withdrawal behind the internationally recognized borders, and the release of the hostages, the extension of the authority of the Lebanese state over all its territories, the withdrawal of the weapons of all armed forces, including Hezbollah, and their handover to the Lebanese army, and securing an amount of $1 billion annually for a period of 10 years.
What the US is doing is its classic Middle East policy. Bundle every long-standing crisis into one sweeping deal and put the burden on a fragile government to deliver. In return, Beirut gets $1 billion a year, which is nothing for the Americans. What Washington fails to take into account is that the divide runs much deeper in Lebanon. Its politics is extremely polarized. Even though Hezbollah is seen as a terrorist group by the Western countries, many people of Lebanon believe the group is fighting for the Shia community.
Of course, the Lebanese are divided on this matter. Some, particularly the Shia community that resides in the south, they have concern that once this weapon has been pulled out, there will be no means to deter Israel from turning South Lebanon into another West Bank or another Gaza.
Israel cannot be trusted. It is treacherous. It cannot be trusted. Would anyone surrender his neck to an enemy?
Hezbollah has refused to lay down its weapons and expectedly found support from Iran. But unlike the past, the future looks uncertain for the group. The cabinet has ordered the army to submit a disarmament plan by the end of this month. A political paralysis is on the cards, and with Israel ready with its arms and the US with a timer, the history of Lebanon might have an important lesson. Trying to redraw this Middle Eastern country's map rarely ends in peace. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.